Namaste. Myself Dr. Sharad Bhalekar. Today we will discuss about the concept of yoga therapy and modern scientific research regarding yoga therapy. As we know the term therapy means we utilize some medicines either to prevent the disease or if there is a disease then to manage the disease. Okay, this is a medicinal therapy. That's why when we use the term yoga therapy, many of the people, many of the student, they think that suppose there is a particular disease and for that disease we are giving some treatment. So many student ask me that, sir, I am having one patient who is having diabetes and which asana should I give? I am having patient of paralysis and which asana and pranayama should I give? Okay, so that means they think that to choose particular yogic practice or their version to manage particular disease. It's not wrong, but it's not complete. Okay, it's not the complete concept of yoga therapy. Okay, what happened, you see, that yoga therapy is not only the work of 1 hour that you do in yoga class. Many people tend to say that I am doing yoga for 1 hour every day. So I asked them, what about remaining 23 hours? Whether you are following yoga in those 23 hours or not. Okay, so yoga deal with your each and every physical and mental activity. And to refine those activity is the actual concept of yoga therapy. This is the actual practice of yoga therapy. Okay, how you keep your room is also the part of yoga therapy. How you keep your kitchen, how you keep your clothes, how you keep your all belongings, how you interact with the people, your each and every interaction is considered as a part of yoga. Okay, so in yoga therapy we should consider all activities, overall lifestyle, from good morning to good night and good night to good morning, everything is there. Okay, and to refine all activities, to refine all physical and mental activities, to discipline all physical and mental activity is the real practice of yoga therapy. Okay, so if you are just concentrating on particular practices of asana or pranayama, you will get relaxation just, and that too for some minutes to some hours, but that will not that will not help you to reverse your disease or to conquer that disease thoroughly. Okay, this is one thing. Second thing, now actually what you do through this ashtanga yoga, through yama niyama asana pranayama pratyahara, what happen exactly when the yoga therapy happens in the body and in the mind, that to be known in a proper way. Okay, Patanjali clearly says samadhi bhavanartah klesha tanukaranarthascha, means whatever we are following kriya yoga, that is to establish the state of samadhi and to weaken the kleshas. It is something like that, I am bringing the light and I am removing the dark. So samadhi and klesha, these are the two opposite words. Okay, so when you establish samadhi, the kleshas get diluted, they get weaker. Okay, so any word that I am establishing samadhi or I am diluting the klesha is the yoga therapy. But for proper understanding, Patanjali combined with these two terms and said samadhi bhavanartah kleshatanukaranarthascha. Why? Because these are the two basic sanskaras which are responsible for your all mental activities and physical activities also. Okay, so our living body is made up of physical structure and then mind. The part of mind in our ancient days, it is considered at two levels. One is the subtle body and one is the causative body. Or simply to say, one is the superficial mind and one is the deep mind. One is the conscious mind and one is the unconscious mind. Conscious mind means we are conscious about those activities. So right now, whatever I'm thinking, I'm imagining, that is, I'm aware about that. But still, there is an unknown part in the deep mind. It is an unconscious mind where so many processes are happening, but we are not aware about that. And that processes are related, or they are just communicated to the superficial mind. So that means whatever is happening in superficial mind, which reflects on your body. Okay, so that is stimulated basically by the sanskaras which are situated in your unconscious mind. And that sanskaras are either the sanskara of klesha or the sanskara of samadhi. So that bunch of sanskara which is situated in our unconscious mind, this is our real godown, real storehouse. We use the term karmashay. Okay, even after the death, that karmashay remains and that get attached to the further life. Okay, so at any cost, we have to clean that karmashay. We have to clean that causative body. We have to clean the unconscious mind. Okay, this is the real yoga therapy. Patanjali says, Heyam Dukkham Anagatam means all diseases that you have been suffering at body level, that is a Heya. And that is because of klesha. That means whatever the impurities in the form of kleshas are in our deep-seated mind, in our unconscious mind, in our Karan Sharira, here is the root cause of all disease. At body level, you may be diagnosed as many diseases, but at subtle level, at causative level, the cause is same, the klesha. Okay, so here is the real work of yoga. Samadhi bhavanam, klesha tanukaranam. I always give one example, and my student know. My old student knows an example that one couple was in front of me, and she was suffering from migraine since 5 years. So I said, you do Brahmari Pranayam, that will help you to reduce the symptoms. Then her husband explained his condition. He was having constipation, indigestion, gases. I said, you also do Brahmari Pranayam. Both started laughing. They said, our problems are different, but you are suggesting same. I said, before you, 10 people came in front of me. Their problem were different, but I suggested only Brahmari for them also. Why? Because at physical level, your problems are different. So at physical level, the fashion of this disease or pathology is different. But in all these conditions, the cause is same. So you may be diagnosed as PCOD, you may be diagnosed as skin disease, psoriasis, or asthma, or insomnia, but the treatment is same. That is to remove the kleshas. First, to weaken the kleshas. Some kleshas are very strong, active. Some kleshas are strong but suppressed. These two types of kleshas are responsible for disturbance. Now we have to weaken those kleshas first. That is a tanu. That is what Patanjali said. First you calm down, or first you weaken those kleshas. Reduce the strength of those kleshas. And then completely dilute the kleshas. Okay, this is the real yoga therapy. So whatever the agenda of Ashtanga Yoga, whatever you follow through Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, slowly it weaken the klesha and then dilute the klesha. This is the traditional concept of yoga therapy. Now we have to understand this concept according to our modern science. Now, where are the sanskaras at body level? How to find out that? Can we find something particular brain organ or brain structure where all sanskaras are situated? Okay, then it will become very easy phenomena that just remove that part of brain, and then you will be free from all that sanskaras. Okay, 100 years back there was one surgery, lobotomy. In lobotomy, they were opening the skull and they were removing some white matter of the brain. because of which the emotional and intellectual part of the brain were disconnected, and because of that many of the disturbances automatically broken down. Operation was successful, and that was applied for thousands of people, but the later on result was very bad, that they said that yes, patient is free from all diseases, but now he is free from all activities also, because now he is a mentally retarded. Okay, so to remove particular part of brain is not the answer. Or another thing, that any medicine which will dilute the sanskara, take tablet twice a day, and then within 6 weeks the sanskaras will be removed. It's not like. So that means to remove the samskara from the brain means to remove the, or to modify the conditioning in the brain. We can define the samskaras at brain level according to some conditionings that happen to various brain centers. Very broadly, we can say the in the structure of brain there is one intellectual part. So that means some frontal cortex and some cortical cells which resemble or which perform the function of intellect, and one is the limbic system which perform the function of emotions. Okay, and these centers are conditioned for many things badly. That conditioning can be considered as a part of sanskara. Let us take the example that one person is very lazy. He want to start his day at 5 o'clock early in the morning, but due to that this conditioning, due to his previous conditioning, he wake up at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. So this is a conditioning. And now what is meant by reconditioning, and how much days it will take to recondition? So he will take one anushasana, one oath, that from tomorrow I will wake up at 5 o'clock. So he will make alarm. So in the beginning, it will be very painful. After alarm, somebody is waking up. So for first 5-6 days, first 5-10 days, it will be very painful. But still, if you continue the discipline, then after 3 to 4 weeks, one day will appear that without alarm, automatically he will wake up at 5 o'clock. Okay, so that means before 1 month, the condition was he was opening his eyes at 8 o'clock. But now the new condition is that he's opening his eyes at 5 o'clock. That means something modification happen in the brain mechanism, and that is reconditioning. What Swami Kolananda explained the term reconditioning of psychophysical mechanism. This is the reconditioning. Okay, that psycho mechanism we can discuss according to Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, but physical mechanism we can discuss according to modern science. So that means to recondition your brain mechanism is the part of yoga therapy. It's very important, because in our emotional brain there is a pleasure center, pain center. That pleasure center is conditioned for many unnecessary things. If I get that, then I will be happy, and if I don't get that, then the pain center will get activated and it will create stress mechanism. This happens, either it will create pain or it will create fear. Okay, and that will disturb all body activities. Okay, there is one another center that is called as a hypothalamus. It is situated in the limbic system, but it is independent basically, and it controls all internal activities. So our digestion, respiration, circulation, metabolism, even in the reproduction, all these internal activities are autonomously managed by hypothalamus. We are not aware about that. Right now we are with our breakfast, but we are not aware about what is happening in the stomach, what is happening in the small intestine, what is happening in the liver. But hypothalamus is managing all the things. Even in our deep sleep also, even if we are in coma, hypothalamus manage. And hypothalamus set a particular rhythm to our all body activities. And that's why you see, when you create some discipline, either it is good or bad, but if you create some discipline, according to that discipline, the hypothalamus set the new rhythm. That means if you start to take breakfast at 9 o'clock in the morning, then after some days at 9 o'clock, hypothalamus stimulate the digestive system to be aware. Even it creates the hunger sensation at that particular time. Okay. If you start to sleep at 9 o'clock in the evening, then at the same time, some chemicals get secreted in the brain and that create the sleep mechanism. Okay. This is the rhythm of hypothalamus. What I want to say that through Ashtanga Yoga, now we are re-establishing a new rhythm of hypothalamus, which goes in favor with health. Okay, so if you have a proper rhythm regarding your hunger, regarding your thirst, regarding your sleep, then there will be no chance for disease to come. Okay, right now, because of these emotional centers and their bad programming, bad conditionings, they are stimulating hypothalamus or they are disturbing the natural rhythm of hypothalamus. Okay, see, some person is waiting for some opportunity and he is so sensitive regarding the same that he is not having proper sleep also because he is thinking. So his emotional system is too active that it is, opposing the hypothalamic activity to create the relaxation mechanism of sleep. Okay, so that means right now the cause of disease I will define that disturbed rhythm of hypothalamus, which reflects on the body in a bad way, and the cause of that disturbance is the your bad conditioning of emotional centers. Now here we need reconditioning. How? Now definitely Ashtanga Yoga is the answer, but being a yoga therapist, being a yoga teacher, only to say follow Ashtanga Yoga is not the answer. That means someone says I am very weak and you give a suggestion, okay, you are weak, do exercise. His further question will be what type of exercise? Which exercise? Same thing they will ask you. That only don't say follow yoga, follow Ashtanga Yoga, but now skillfully we have to introduce Ashtanga Yoga in his life, considering his pathological condition. You see, when such patient came in front of you, already they are very irritated because they have been taking medicine since many years. Even he is having constipation, he take Kayam Churan for many years. Time le rahe hain. So that means what happened, you see, actually, that already they are irritated, and in such condition, if you give some very difficult discipline, that again become the new cause of stress, or that again create some negativity that I am not really liable for yoga. Many student after meditation session they cry. They says I'm very dirty person. I try to do meditation, but many dirty thoughts are coming. I said that was situated in your unconscious mind. So now it is a part of cleaning. So that will come first. So it's a process of cleaning, but they don't understand. But they feel guilty. They feel negative. Okay. So in the beginning, we have to follow the strategy of yoga therapy according to their pathological conditions. So in considering all these pathological conditions in those chronic diseases, what is the first need? The first need is to relax the person. So relaxation is the first pillar of yoga therapy. We will see the four pillars of yoga therapy: relaxation, regulation of daily activity, realization, and then rehabilitation. But first is the relaxation. Through any way, the person should be relaxed. That means the emotional center should calm down or some time, or then let that calmness should sustain for a longer time. Okay, so here we have to choose, we have to suggest some simple yogic practices or some simple versions of the yogic practices. As Patanjali said, whenever there is a chitta vikshepa and there are complications, what to do? So the first line of action, the Patanjali said, Tat pratishedhatam ekatatvabhyasa. And then he said, or you can do some simple breathing practices. You can do some simple mantra chanting also. Same thing. That means whatever you choose the method for relaxation, it should be very simple, easy to perform. Otherwise, patient is in deep depression and you are suggesting that inhale for 12 seconds, then hold it for 24 seconds, and then exhale for 24 seconds. It is too difficult for you. So another thing is that as the method should be very simple, in the beginning, don't give very big experiment. Let it should be a short and sweet. So the interval should be minimum as possible from 5 minutes to 20 minutes hardly. Okay, but they should repeat that activity twice a day, thrice a day. That repetition will work to recondition the centers. Repetition is very important. As we use the term vrata, sola somvar, that means 16 Monday, means 4 months. That means whatever you take the auth of particular activity, you continue that for 4 months. That repetition is very important because anything you repeat become automatic. That is what I said, that you wake up at 5 o'clock. Every day, if you wake up at 5 o'clock, after 3 to 4 weeks, it become automatic phenomena for the brain. So automatically that happens. Same thing will happen with these yoga practices also. So whatever you choose, the small and sweet techniques, you should convince that person to follow it regularly. For example, when I choose Brahmari Pranayam for 20 minutes, I say that, see, from today, we will take the auth of Brahmari Pranayam. This is a vrata. We are very sensitive about the vrata. And you see how we say that करना है तो करो ठीक से, बीच में छोड़ने का नहीं तो बहुत बुरा हो जाएगा. That means what we want to say, that this auth should be followed strictly. Even though so many obstacles will come, you should follow that. This is what we use the term anushtan, anuthan. Means once you decide, then you should complete it. Okay. So that is about 40 days, about 21 days, about 4 months, something like that. You bind his mind with that particular practice, that the practice is very simple, but we have to follow thrice a day. It is only for 20 minutes, but follow it for thrice a day. In this way, if you follow it for 1 month, that means you are following that practice for 90 times in a 1 month. In this way, if you follow it for 2 months, means 180. For 4 months means 360. So this repetition will definitely lead to the reconditioning of brain cell. So if you start that particular practice, then some chemicals in the brain will get secreted, which are responsible to calm down the emotional centers, like serotonin, melatonin. You know the word GABA, GABA, gamma aminobutyric acid, or 5-hydroxyindoleactic acid. नाम बहुत डरावने होते हैं. But what we want to say, some calming neurotransmitters get secreted after this process. And by research, it is proved that if you follow any simple breathing practice, अब यहाँ झिकझिक नहीं कि should I follow Anulom Vilom or Ujjayi, should I follow Brahmari, any one that is suitable for you. Okay, so find out the suitable practice and work on it, because the result of all practices is the same. That means if you are doing Brahmari, the result is same, to create the neurotransmitters which calms down the brain centers. Same thing will happen with Anulom Vilom also. Same thing will happen with Om chanting also, with slow deep breathing also. So anything, any simple practice. So find out which is suitable for you. Okay, this is a part of experience. And tell them that as a vrata, we have to follow it. So even though sometimes you will feel some pain or you will feel some symptoms of disease, but don't become negative. Still continue the practice and don't judge within 2 days or within few days. Otherwise, when you suggest some yoga practice, do Brahmari, it will help you to conquer this migraine. Next day they will come in front of you. Yesterday I did that Brahmari, but still headache is there. And we say that this is the beginning, but they want early result. That's why in first meeting you prepare their mind that whatever we have been following now, that should be followed for few weeks. So our next meeting will be on second month. Till up to that you have to follow it, and if you follow it properly, then you come in front of me. Because out of 10, 7 people discontinue because of their impatience. Okay, and that's why they lose the benefit of that simple practice. Many of the people, they think, what will happen by the Brahmari? That means what they want to say, that I have been taking so many medicines, thousands of rupees I spent in those medicines, and now without medicine you just say to do Brahmari, and that will help you, help me. It is how it is possible. That means this is only slowly breathing will work. Only that Anulam Vilam will work. How? That means they don't have trust. Okay. And because of that mistrust, they can't follow it. They will, maybe they follow for 3-4 days, and fifth day they says, I started that yoga, but nothing is happening. And that's why this is your skill, that how to introduce that thing in front of patient, that now this is a simple experiment, but if you follow it for 1 month, then you will find the result. So you will start to find the results from third week. Till up to that you have to do regularly, even though you have that disease or the symptoms of disease. Please don't discontinue. So anybody who continue for 3 weeks, then in next follow up he come with that positivity, that after this practice I am getting some lightness, and many of the symptoms are reduced in their strength. And then they will ask that, should I continue? And your answer is yes, you continue, but along with that, now we have to follow other pillars of the yoga therapy also. Okay, so I know in yoga therapy always there is a starting trouble, and that starting trouble is because of the impatience of the patient. So this is skillfully to be convinced to the patient that even the practice is very simple, it will bring a deeper result. You see, the Guru Mantra is very simple. Just to say Om. But just to say Om for 20 minutes for 3 times a day, in this way, if you follow it for 30 days, then you will find the depth of that Om chanting. What happens exactly? That if you follow repeatedly, then repeatedly those chemicals get formed inside the brain, and that formation of chemical become the automatic phenomena. And furthermore, those chemicals are stored in the CSF, in the liquid of the brain. And that's why, as per the need that is utilized, so the action sustains for 24 hours. So maybe in the beginning, the relaxation or that lightness, that calmness is for 1 hour, 2 hour. But then after, because of these practices, you will, or that patient will experience the lightness, the relaxation for 24 hours. Even though some bad thoughts are coming, even though some negative thoughts are coming, even some negative situations are coming, still the patient will continue with this calmness because of these chemicals. In this way, you are changing the chemical phenomena of the brain. So in the beginning, we don't have the chemicals, because of that there is a irritability. In modern days, as Munna Bhai's language, it is a chemical lochon. That is chemical imbalance. Medically, it is a chemical imbalance. So whatever the bad conditioning is, it is because of chemical imbalance. And now we are creating new conditioning with proper chemical balance. This will happen. And then you will further go to the second step of yoga therapy, that is the regulation of daily activity. So once the person get lightness, another thing is that he have trust on the yoga therapist, because for the first time in their life he had reduced the symptoms without medicine. Now they are ready to follow your words. Now your duty is to regulate all daily activities. That means to discipline all regular activities. Now first we have to take the proper history, and we have to find out his lifestyle, when he is waking up, when he is going to bed, when he is taking food. Okay, and find out whether there is a some misrhythm in that, and rhythmize that. So how to rhythmize the regular routine? Just concentrate on the four things, as in Bhagavad Gita said, yukta ahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapnavabodhasya yoga bhavati dukkha. Skillful diet, skillful sleep, then skillful exercise, and skillful interactions. If you refine these four things, automatically the daily routine will get refined, will get regulated. Okay. So about sleep, always I say that yoga therapy start with the sleep. That means whatever you give the relaxation techniques, it improves the sleep. But still, some more explanation is needed, and very cautiously you ask that person about his sleep. Many people, even though they don't have proper quality of sleep, they tend to say, yes, I am getting sleep. I will go to sleep for 9 o'clock and wake up 6 o'clock. There is no problem, but there is a problem. They have sleep, but they don't have the proper quality of sleep, that is a deep sleep. Okay, and they are considering that abnormality as a usual thing, unfortunately. Okay, so in many books or in many lectures, how the people says, if you want to become yogi, if you want to follow the yogic practices, wake up early in the morning. I always say, if you want to do yogic practices, go to bed as early as possible, so that you will wake up early in the morning. Otherwise, up to 12 o'clock, you are with WhatsApp and Facebook, with the other activities. And then at 12 o'clock, you decide, tomorrow I will wake up at 4 o'clock and I will start yoga. It is difficult. Okay, sleep is the natural mechanism of the relaxation. And through relaxation technique, you restore that. But for better improvement in the sleep, we need it to be followed skillfully. For example, Brahmari Pranayam, 20 minutes. 20 minutes of Brahmari Pranayama just before sleep. If you take the oath, if you start from today, within 3 to 4 weeks, you will find the change in the rhythm of the sleep. And you will enter into the state of deep sleep. Day by day, the quality of sleep will get improved. It's not important how long it is, that we need 6 hours sleep, 8 hours sleep, no. But the quality of sleep means how deep it is. Because in that deep sleep, your all brain structures are relaxed. Otherwise, in sleep, many of the brain structures are not relaxed and they are working in the form of various dreams. Okay, so some people, they've gone through the series of dreams throughout the night. Okay, it is just like that someone open the TV channel and they are just changing the channel. Okay, something like that. So throughout the night, even though he is in sleep, his brain is busy, so brain is not relaxed. The next day when he wake up, he feel heaviness, he feel fatigued, and with that fatigue, he start his day. This is what we say bad quality of sleep. So improve the quality of sleep. As in Bhagavad Gita, it is said that anybody who want to become a yogi should have enough sleep. The person who is not taking proper sleep will not become yogi, will not become healthy person also. Okay, so even for physical health, mental health, and furthermore spiritual development, we need good sleep. So refine his sleep, give some instructions regarding that, as I gave the trick of Brahmari Pranayam, something like that. Second thing about the diet, I will say that diet should be in a proper time, and that too in the form of mitahara. Mitahara means, you see, the diet after taking, we don't have any heaviness, sleepiness. That is mitahara. Mitahara means the quantity of diet which is easy to digest and which is not producing strain on any system of the body, which is not creating dullness. That is mitahara. Now, lot of things can be discussed under the title of ahara, but now I just mentioned that. Furthermore, in future lectures, I will explain in detail. Third is the regular exercise. Now you see the term regular exercise. Everybody knows the importance of exercise. But if I ask the question, are you following regularly? then out of 100, 99 people will fail to answer this. They are not following regular. Okay. Whatever you follow, the small form of exercise, let it should be regular. That means it should be followed every day. Okay. You see, for example, running for 10 minutes. So that means you are investing only 10 minutes. Okay. But follow it regularly. Okay, that means while you are rescheduling the daily routine, at that time you write down on the paper that you will give 10 minutes for running, you will give 5 minutes for Surya Namaskaram, something like that. So define his exercise plan. Exercise plan should not be every time up to 1 hour or 2 hour to go to gym or to go to particular studio. It may be short and sweet again, but follow it regularly. There are so many small intervals in our daily routine which we are just passing as a time pass, you know. We are not utilizing it for exercise. One office worker said, I am very busy, so and I'm having back pain. So how to do exercise? I said, okay, you are busy, but can you give 2 minutes for your body? He said, yes, that I can give. Then I said, in your office time from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock, on the chair, you do Parvatasana for 2 minutes, but do it for 3 times. Even you are watching something on the TV screen or computer screen, you can do Parvatasana. So 2 minute Parvatasana 3 times a day. That means you have to spend 6 minutes every day. But that worked a lot. Every day he followed for 3 times. After 3 weeks, he said, now my neck pain, upper shoulder pain has gone. Listen, that means skillfully you have to introduce some small practices in your daily routine and utilize the small time intervals which you are just wasting. Okay, then it will become regular. So on the holiday you can spend more time for exercise, but in our busy days we will spend small time intervals even in our office or even in our home. Yes, it is possible, but make it regular. And then the fourth thing is the proper interactions. You know, even some people follow sannyasa and goes to the forest. Still there is a interaction with the trees, interaction with the animals, interaction with the nature. So we can't leave the interaction. Nobody will live with without interaction. There will be interaction. Okay, and you see what happened. Usually the person throws his irritation during interaction. So whatever the bad conditioning in the brain, that reflects in the daily interactions in the form of bad communication. Okay, so throughout the day the person is just throwing the irritation on all people, and furthermore all these people get irritated and they are throwing the irritation to the another. So it is just like a chain reaction. Okay, so here we have to make proper counseling, and we have to stimulate that person to find out those bad communications that they have. Okay, many times what happen, they are communicating in a proper way with all other people, but when they are interacting with few people, particular people, they have disturbance, and probably that disturbance is the cause of further all disturbances in the interactions. So find out that and teach them the idea how to control the reactions, or sometimes how to deal with those people. It's very difficult. Sometimes some different personalities in one house, one family, they disturb each other. Definitely, it becomes a big matter of irritation. So here we have to teach about the interaction. Patanjali says through any way, there are different personalities, there are different way of thoughts. So, and if we can't avoid those interactions, then at least we can avoid the unnecessary reactions during those interactions. And that's why they said the first level of samadhi is to avoid unnecessary reactions in those interactions. That is samatva, study of samatva, study of controlling the reactions. This is very small sutra. Now my teacher at once said that you in the evening you follow one small meditation. It's not small meditation, but it is a revision of the day. You just close the eyes, and from morning when you woke up, you just remember the day and see wherever you interacted, and carefully see which interactions were bad, which interactions were unnecessary, and again think whether that was avoidable or not. If you do this exercise, within 1 week, you will find that in our daily routine, we are following 95% unnecessary reactions that are really avoidable, but that become the part of conditioning. That is our conditioning to react. Hmm. So, if you become aware about that, then it become easy, because once you realize, this is a realization, once you realize it is unnecessary, then you start to unfollow it. In this way, slowly, slowly, your unnecessary reactions down and you become more peaceful. This is something more deeper therapy. So, in the first 2 hour relaxation and regulation of daily activity, some practices of pranayama and asana will work. But now, in realization, that your concept of samatva will work. That means to be aware in every situation, to be aware about your reactions. Sometimes immediately you come to know, I'm irritated, I'm angry. Come back as early as possible. Okay. It's very difficult to control completely all reactions. We are human beings, but our duty is come back as early as possible. Many people, they don't come back, and because of that, that reactions that still continue throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, throughout so many years. Hmm. As we know, our very popular super hit film Diwar. Hmm. So someone wrote on his hand, "Mera baap chor hai." But that anger, which started at the age of 10, till at the age of 35, it is continuing. Hmm. So some reactions are still continuing; they are sustained. Okay. That means many times whatever your anger or whatever your another emotional expressions, feelings, you can't control that. That reactions still are happening. So that person has gone, but you are throwing that reaction in other thousands of people unnecessarily. Hmm. That means in childhood, someone made bad with you, but that anger you are throwing on thousands of people. It is a bad thing, but it is happening. And this is a realization that right now, whatever I am following unnecessary reactions, what is the cause behind that? Going past. As Sigmund Freud was giving, deep relaxation on one coach, and he was finding the cause of that irritation, and he was going in the past. So he was asking some questions. What happened 1 year back, 2 year back? In this way, slowly, slowly, he was helping that person to understand where is the root cause. In our Patanjali Yoga Sutra, it is said it is not only in the childhood, but maybe in your previous life also. Anyhow, whatever be it is. So it is something to search your unconscious mind, or to search the search the samskaras in your unconscious, or at least to find out the bad personality traits you have, which which are responsible for bad conditioning, or which is the result of bad conditioning. We can say this is realization, and then the last part is the rehabilitation. Rehabilitation means change in habits. Whatever the previous programming, now change the programming. All these previous programmings or conditioning is responsible for disease. So reconditioning will be responsible for reversal of disease. It is a rehabilitation. So someone have habit of anger, habit of fear. You see, sometimes fear become habitual. You see, so many panic, phobic disorders, and unexplained fear about lizard. So once that person see that lizard, he is having overreaction, and other all 100 people get surprised. Why he is fearing? But this is a programming. What happened in his brain? There's a fear of particular disease. So even a small cough comes, he fear about should I have that COVID or not. That means now rainy season has started. So many people, as during every season, we have small episode of flu, viral fever. Now it is very difficult because in June, July, whatever the fever is coming, the people will think about the COVID first, not about regular influenza. This is the fear, abhinivesh, the klesha. Okay, but that fear become habitual. That fear become the conditioning. Okay, so now reconditioning. Now here we need more deeper practices that are already told by Patanjali Yoga Sutra, the Chitta Prasadana, Pratipaksha Bhavana. Actually, in last century, yoga spread all over the world, but the gross part spread all over the world. That is not the deeper part of the yoga. It still have been following by yoga schools, and that is what we say Pratipaksha Bhavanam or Chitta Prasadanam, or in other words, it is a some psychotherapeutical techniques, some mental exercises. Still people are interested more in asana pranayama. That means yoga means some asana, some series of asana or some practices of pranayama. But I think in future these techniques of Patanjali or this concept of Patanjali's about chitta prasadana, about pratipaksha bhavana will become the main part of the yoga therapy, especially in chronic diseases, because now some very deep seated conditionings, or very strong conditionings, need to change the personality, to change the habits. Okay, and here they need some deep psychotherapeutical practices. The practices are very simple, but to be done cautiously and regularly. For example, in chitta prasadana they said the practice of forgiveness, upeksha. Forgiveness means forgive the people. It is very simple to say, very easy to say, just like forget it. Forgive. It's really easy to forgive. Some people made bad with you, and now this is your task, that to forgive those people. Your mind is not ready. So once I made the experiment that the students did pranayama for 20 minutes and then for further 10 minutes the shavasana with breath and body awareness. So after the deep relaxation, after half an hour, I gave instruction that now with closed eyes, you go in your past and find out the people who made some bad with you, who hurted you, and forgive them one by one. After the session of 1 hour, many people, many students said that it was very nice experiment, it was very nice experience. We forgave though so many people, but these two people, it was very difficult to forgive them. That means there are some deep hurted mechanism. That means it is very difficult to forgive. But you see, I say that still you try to forgive them. People again re-ask that why to forgive them if they are not changing. That means family member says, I want to forgive that person, but why, what is the benefit? He is not changing. Even he is not understanding that I am forgiving. I says, don't forgive that person for the sake of his health, for the sake of your health first. Because if you don't forgive, then you remain disturbed. Your brain mechanism is disturbed, your body mechanism is disturbed. So for the sake of your health, first try to forgive. Okay, that means because of your forgiveness, he will be changed. It should not be the expectation. Our main expectation is through that forgiveness, we will be balanced internally. That is the important thing. So again and again we have to follow this mental exercise. Gautam Buddha is very popular with his Vipassana technique, but you see, before Vipassana, Gautam Buddha also gave importance to this mental exercise. What he used the term Brahma Vihar. You see, the temple of Gautam Buddha is called as a Vihar. Means meditation is further thing. Before that, you have to clean the mind. That means if you clean the room, then it is very good to do meditation. But in dirty room, it is very difficult. So first clean the mind, Chitta Prasadana. The title made by Patanjali is Chitta Prasadana, but same title Gautam Buddha said Brahma Vihara. So concept is same. Even that concept is same in Jainism also. Chaya Pratisan Nirodha. So that means kashaya prati sallinata, whatever they use the term pratipaksha bhavana. So title may be different, but the exercise is same. That to create friendliness. Now see, close the eyes, and whoever come in front of you, whoever come in your mind, just give goodwill. Just pray for his goodwill. Hmm. This is how you are creating friendship with all. You see, some mantras will help you, like Sarve Atra Sukhinas Santu, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. So in one sutra they said, let there should be happiness for all, there should be health for all. Okay, so that means you are expecting something good in the others. Okay, this is because of your Maitri Bhav. So we have to create some these positive feelings, and if you strengthen these positive feelings, it will become automatic phenomena. So even though you are not doing, it is happening. That feelings are coming from you. You will get established in those divine feelings. Okay, and definitely that will destroy the internal bad conditionings automatically. Change in personality. Actually, modern psychologist says that it is very difficult to change the personality. They said it is a nature. But one branch of modern psychology says it is a nurture also. That means unless you change the personality, you will not conquer the disease. And here, yes, we are changing the bad traits of personality. Or in other words, we are changing some bad habits. In this way, we are working on the conditionings that happen at deep level of the mind. I think our time is over. So these are the 4 R of yoga therapy: relaxation, regulation of daily routine, realization, and rehabilitation. This is your skill how to introduce this 4 R in his life and how to work out. And then you will get the result. So through this 4 R, actually you are introducing Ashtanga Yoga in his life. Okay. But medically, when you think about the therapy, then think through this 4 R, then it will become easy matter for you to schedule the treatment or to design the treatment or to convince the patient, your client. I think this is the concept of yoga therapy. Thank you.